Do you own your own business? Are you looking for a platform where you can advertise and just get more people to come through your door? Well, look no further than the What's on My Mind podcast. In case you didn't know, What's on My Mind podcast is probably one of the fastest growing podcasts out there today. Our audience is not just local, but worldwide. Our numbers in the local market seem to go up every single week. These are people that can be walking in through the doors of your establishment. All you have to do is contact us at WOMMpodcast@gmail.com. That's WOMMpodcast@gmail.com. Use our platform as your platform to get your business out there for people to notice you. Again, contact us at WOMMpodcast@gmail.com. All you got to do is contact us. We'll contact you back, and we will make this thing happen. Help us to help you. What's on My Mind podcast? That's the place to do your advertising to get your business out there. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Hey, this is Rob T.
Hey, this Big Will.
The week is almost through.
And there's a lot we've thought through.
And we just want to share it with you. Some of it may be motivational.
Some inspirational.
But it will always be sensational. So sit back
and relax
and check out What's on My Mind. Hey, yo, what's up, everybody?
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
We are back. That's right. Yes. Another week, another podcast. This is Rob T.
It's Big Will.
And you're listening to What's on My Mind. And we are really excited to be starting a new series this week. Before we do, Will, man, how about that show last week?
Man, that was amazing.
I mean,
amazing.
Daniel just opened up. I've gotten a lot of comments about just how real it got.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't mind, Will, real quick, can you just briefly share the story that you shared with me that happened while you were actually working?
Yeah,
because I want our listeners to hear this. This is really cool.
Yeah, so I want to give a quick shout out to a listener who is an avid listener, apparently. So everybody knows I work in a call center, and I can't say the business name, but I work in a call center. And so was it Monday? I think it was.
Yeah, I believe it was Monday. Yes.
So I took a phone call from somebody who sat there and we're talking. I don't know how we got on the subject, but we just started talking, and then she sat there and asked, "What do you do?" or something, because your voice sounds familiar. And I was just like, I do this. This is what it, because I'm not supposed to say personal information.
Right, because you're at your job.
Right, I'm at my job.
Yeah.
So then she goes, "You just sound real familiar. What is your name, Will? Your name sounds familiar." And I was just like, man, I don't even really know. I'm not even going to say nothing. I've done some things in the past. You know, I've been around. It's probably what it is. You probably caught one of those things in the back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's just coming current. And she's just like, no. This is like recent. And then I was like, because my calls are recorded.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay.
That's what makes this more funny, by the way.
So then I was just like, okay. So me and a friend of mine have a podcast. And she's just like, oh my God, I know who you are. You are Big Will from What's on My Mind. You and Rob T. And I was just like, oh my God, yes. And she was like, oh, this is the job you said. Thanks, job, because it messed up your schedule. I was just like, oh my God, my managers are listening. Oh.
Yeah, and you said she heard. So the thing that got me was you said that she heard about the podcast through a.
She's on Spotify,
right?
She's apparently on the premium edition.
Okay.
So she said she started listening to podcasts, and they sent her an email of shows to check out.
Right.
We were on that list.
Wow.
So apparently she said she went from Maryland to California. So the whole trip from there, she listened to every episode that we dropped. God. And she wanted to meet you. She thought you worked there too. She was like, "Can I speak to Rob T? Can I speak?" I was like, "He doesn't work here." She was like, "Please, we talk to Rob T." I'm like, "He doesn't work here." She was amazed by the way you question, the way you your flow of questioning, the way you do things, all relaxed and casual.
Yeah.
And she just loved our show. It's just so laid back and so peaceful minded, because you could just tell people are comfortable talking in our chairs
because we're having conversations. Man. That's what it is.
That's it.
That's awesome. I know you can't say her name because of the work thing.
That's right.
But to that listener, I just want to say thank you for listening. And look us up on Facebook. I'd love to meet you. We'd love to. You know what? Hit us up on Facebook. We'll send you some stickers and stuff. Right. And we're all going to be working on some other merchandise too here in the future. We'll even send you some of that once we get that out there. But that's awesome. That means we're reaching people, which is cool.
She didn't even know us.
Yeah,
she didn't even know
crazy.
who we were.
That's crazy.
She just got an email and just clicked on it.
That's pretty awesome.
There. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, man, that's cool. So that made my day. Thank you for sharing that with me that day. Anyway, so we had a great series all on mental health, and I just want to take this time to thank all of our guests that came to talk. I was saying last week, but that was actually Pastor Fuji. Yeah. Pastor Fuji's message was amazing. Having Daniel open up the week before was awesome. I mean, it was a great series all around, and I've heard a lot of good things, but now it's on to a new series, which is what we're excited about. And all I got to tell you is we've already been here in the studio for a little while because we were doing some stuff to get ready for this series. We cut some videos and promos that you guys are going to be seeing here in the near future, and already I can tell you I'm excited, and I just got one question to ask myself: what the heck was I thinking? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so we do have some guests in the studio. We have some young ladies here with us in the studio.
That's right.
Because this series is going to be all about the young adults, the teenagers, okay? So without further ado, I want to introduce our guests. We have Amaya, Vanessa, and Tiffany. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Y'all can talk in the mics now.
Hey. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. We wanted to do this show because, you know, we had an epiphany, if you will, that we have a lot of listeners that are adults, and we don't have very many young people that are listening. And this is a subject, or tons of subjects that I want to touch on, because I think out there we have a lot of parents that have kids that are y'all's age, and they're probably oblivious to what's going on in y'all's world. So I want to talk about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I just want to say thank you, first of all, for coming on the show and being willing to talk about it. So before we started, we had some ground rules laid out, and you know, I'll let the audience know my rules are basically I want you guys to keep it real. So that's what we're gonna do today. So you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're
awesome.
As real as it gets.
Awesome. That's good to know. That's really good to know. So listen, before we actually get to some of those issues, there is one question I want to ask you guys. You guys know what's going on in the world right now. We're being ransacked by a pandemic, by this virus that's going around like crazy. And speaking as an adult, of course, because I'm old, as you made mention earlier. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We see this very differently, I think, from you guys. So tell me, how has this pandemic affected y'all? Has it affected you? Like, honestly.
It definitely has.
Yeah? How has it affected you?
We have to stay inside all the time and not go hang out with our friends, and we're so used to getting out of the house on a normal day. It's different for us.
Right.
And it's summer, so it kind of stresses us out. And we've done so much already in the first couple of weeks that we were already off from school after spring break. So we've kind of ran out of ideas today.
That's right. This thing happened like right after spring break, and y'all stopped going to school, right? What was that like?
I enjoyed it. I needed a vacation from school, and online school has been the best decision I've ever had. It wasn't even my choice, but like, thank COVID for that.
And how about you?
I agree that I needed a break too, but now it's going past where I want to go back.
Gotcha. Like you're missing that. I totally get what you're saying. How about you, Tiffany?
I'm a very social person, and when I'm not around my friends, I'm just in my room constantly. So.
So let me ask you this question, because I think you bring up a really good point. Like at first, right, I'm sure it's cool. It's like, hey, I don't have to go back to school. I don't have to deal with the crap I was dealing with over there.
Yeah.
But now here we are going on a few months. It's the same thing. You can't go anywhere. You're stuck in the house, right? One of the things that comes up a lot on the news media is how there's an increase in things like depression and things like that. Are you guys dealing with that kind of stuff right now?
Yes.
I actually am, yes.
You are, okay.
I honestly think we were dealing with it a lot when school happened, but it kind of phased out a little bit when we had a lot of time to ourselves. For those like first 3 weeks that school wasn't a thing, I think it kind of balanced out pretty well. But then now that we know we can't do anything for a while,
Right.
I think it's kind of kicked back in here and then.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
So Vanessa, right?
Yes.
All right. I remember. See. So Vanessa, you said that you've been dealing with some depression. How
Yes.
so? Like, how's this?
Not just depression, anxiety.
Anxiety.
Too.
Anxiety. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What's the anxiety? What is it that's like freaking you out?
Everything really, just going out and not knowing if I could get it, if I could spread
Okay.
it to my family.
Okay.
And I haven't just got anxiety from COVID. I've always had it.
Right. This doesn't help though.
Yes, it doesn't.
It kind of intensifies it.
Yes.
And so let me ask you this: do you see a lot of news?
I try to stay away from them.
Okay, good. Yeah, because all you hear on the news is just fear,
Yes.
fear like crazy. And I'm sure that does not help with the anxiety at all. Now, what about depression? Are you dealing with anything like that?
I would say I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to, like, I guess say if I do or if I don't have it, but
Let me say this. Like, I always feel like people get the wrong idea of what depression really is. And when they think depression, some people's mind automatically goes to, like, suicide or bad thoughts in your brain. And I don't think that that's fully depression. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But to me, I think depression can be smaller. It doesn't have to be a big thing. That's just my idea of what I would say it is. The conclusion.
I think, and here's the thing: our listeners this past few weeks, as I was mentioning when we started, we've been talking about mental health, so they really do have an idea of what depression is, especially when we had somebody here that was talking specifically about depression. So I get it. You're not talking like the whole suicide thing, but there is a depression there for sure.
Yes.
And I completely understand it, especially when you're used to being with friends and things like that. Now, Tiffany, from what you were sounding like, it sounds like you're the more outgoing type. Are you dealing with anything like depression or anxiety or anything like that?
Yeah, most definitely. I was actually diagnosed with kind of severe depression and severe anxiety when I was like 15, but
Wow.
I've taught myself how to kind of not ignore it, but suppress it sometimes and kind of pretend it isn't there. But
Right.
with the pandemic and everything, it's kind of hard because there's really nothing else to do than like get in your head and think about like everything.
Yeah, trust me, you preaching to the choir. I get that too. Although you bring up something I forgot to ask, and I should have asked this at the beginning. How old are you now, Tiffany?
I'm 16.
You're 16. What about
16.
you? So everybody's 16 here. So you guys are like at that quintessential teenager age, right?
Yeah.
That you're not quite the adult just yet, but you're definitely not a child anymore. So that's okay. So it's kind of funny that not funny, but interesting that what as adults we're kind of dealing with this whole pandemic thing. You guys are still feeling the same thing. Just on different levels, right?
Correct.
Because you're not having to worry too much about, am I still going to have my job? Am I still, because you guys are still going to school. Y'all are
Right,
still
but
students.
I'm sure some of us our age. I mean, a lot of people
for sure.
now are getting into jobs. And
For sure.
stuff. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. But most of the time, and this isn't everybody, I know
Right.
there's exceptions to the rule, but most of the time, kids your age, their jobs are, they're just getting started in the workforce and they're learning what it's like to have a job, and it's not because they're having to pay rent or pay the light bill or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's a stress that I would say if you haven't done it yet, you should thank God that you don't have that stress, because that can be stressful. Will, I think your mic's on.
Yeah, it's on.
So that's great. I mean, I was really curious as to how this whole thing was affecting you guys. Unfortunately, I don't know what it's like to have kids because I don't have any kids. I have dogs.
Dogs are better.
I'll take your
You
word
would
for
know.
it.
Well,
Only
not
talking
really.
they do is barking.
I'll take your word from a tree mic just a little bit. Yeah, right there. Okay. So, when we were making the little commercial, which by the way, did y'all like doing that?
Yes.
Awkward.
It was. You
think we
did
got the
great
hang
though.
of it. I think we
You
got the hang
did
of it.
great. I could tell that at the beginning you were a little kind of nervous and awkward, but then when you got the feel for it, I couldn't shut you up. You were just going. So no, and it worked out great. I can't wait for people to see that. But anyway, but you brought up some great topics on that. So let's go back to the whole school thing. Okay, so I know this year has been totally whack because it's just with this whole COVID thing. It's like you went to school for a few months and now it's like not All right, so let's kind of rewind a little bit. Let's go back to when things were normal. What would you say some of the biggest obstacles that you deal with in school?
I guess trying to fit in.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a
a
good
great
one.
Yeah.
That's a real good one. Now, let me ask you this. I'm about to challenge you here. Fit in with who?
With I guess your friends.
Okay.
I don't think it's just necessarily friends. I think it's fit in with the people you think, fit in with the people you think are going to be good for you along the way, or fit in with the people you think you're going to get the best out of. Or, I'm not sure how to say it necessarily, but I feel like not everybody joins the friend group that they want to be in, but the friend group that they know they're going to get the most out of, or the most popularity out of. Or like, that's how I see school sometimes. I don't see it as it's friendship, but sometimes I see it as joining it for the way people will look at you.
Yeah. Sorry guys, we're having some technical issues. Make sure the mic's the right way. That could be what's off here. Just having a little technical issues. We're fixing it right now. As she was saying that, I was kind of reminded back to when I was in school. Fitting in was, of course, the big one, but there we go. Now we got it. But for me, it was fitting in with the cool crowd.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing, you think?
I think it's still the same thing now. I'm not that kind of person who wants to fit in with the cool crowd.
Right.
I'm a very lay low person. Like, keep to myself all the way. I have very few friends.
Really?
But yeah.
So you more introverted?
I guess you could say that. Depends though. Depends on the kind of people I'm with.
Right. It's this mic stand. So listen, we need more sponsors because we have to buy new mic stands. I'm really sorry about that whole mic thing.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's a great point of view. Growing up, I had friends that were like that. I was one of those that I had to find a place to fit into. I had to be a part of the cool crowd, I guess you could say. What about you? Are you the same as her, or are you a little different?
I think I'm a little different. I have like a good handful of friends.
Okay.
And I could always count on them, and I could always be myself with them.
Right.
And I'm not the person who wants to go fit in with the cool people. I'm
Okay.
more the
So
person.
y'all are kind of similar in that
Yes.
sense.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I just think the difference is that she has a bigger group of friends, but she goes to the smaller group of people that she's a
More
lot
closest
closer to.
Okay.
That's where she's fully herself.
I see. What about you, Tiffany?
I don't really. I used to aim to like be one of the cool, popular kids, but last year I kind of realized that most of them aren't really going anywhere, and they're all kind of mean. So I kind of just stick to my group of friends, and some of them are relatively popular, but like they're not the ones that you see in the hallway, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's Rebecca. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't like those people. They're kind of
Fake.
annoying. Yeah,
I get
very
you. I
fake.
get you.
Very fake.
Now, do you think, in your opinions, right, with and I'm talking on the grand scope of things, of the people you see every day when you go to school, do you think most people are fake?
No.
No?
No, just the
I would say yes. I think it's just because I've ran into quite a bit of people with that kind of thing. But I think it's also because as we get older, we don't really fit in with ourselves. And maybe it's different, but I think that as we get older, friendships kind of expand, and you change as a person, and your friendship groups change as a person. So I definitely think that people will try to be somebody else to fit in with somebody that they know they can't be fit in
That's
with.
a good
Yeah.
point. That's a
Yeah.
very good point.
Yeah.
So I got to know, well, first of all, let me ask this question, because y'all, Amaya and Vanessa, y'all are sisters.
Yes.
Right? Okay. At school, y'all hang out together?
We don't go to the same
Really?
school.
We
Interesting. Okay, cool. What now? Do y'all go to school? Like how are y'all your friends outside of school, or how does that
We
work?
go to the same school.
Yeah.
We're in the same friend group.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you're the one that doesn't go to the same school.
Right, but
Gotcha,
I am
gotcha.
still kind of close with all of the friends. Like, we share the
Yeah.
same friend group
Right,
for
right.
sure, but she's closer with her group of friends than I am with her group of friends. But we still,
course.
we
Like, we
communicate,
can all
we
hang
get
out.
through. Yeah, it's
Right.
not
And it
weird.
won't be awkward.
Right. Cool. That's awesome, because that's real life.
Yeah.
yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because we're talking about friends and groups of friends here. In y'all's mind right now, at where you're at 16 years old, do you feel that the friends you have now will still be your friends when you're an adult and in your 30s and stuff like that?
Well, I thought it would be that way, but clearly it's not. Let me just tell you that I have come into quite a few encounters. This is being real. I've come into quite a few encounters
Something
with a lot
happened
of
recently
people.
or something?
Yes, actually, really. Between somebody I thought was gonna be my best friend with somebody who I've known since I was in kindergarten. So.
Wow. Okay.
No.
Crazy. Okay, so and now we got two of them whispering over here.
Just because not everybody knows about this, the whole COVID thing happened, so I've been really kept to myself. I think it's just a family thing.
I hear you. No, I get that. Well, just to tell you, I'm 45 years old, so I'm of course way older than you guys. But I'll be honest with you, I had one friend of mine that was my friend since middle school, and we were friends all up into our adult years, and we would still be friends today had he not passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, he passed away about 3 years ago from cancer. So, thank you, I appreciate that. Great friend of mine. He was actually the guy. You have that one friend where, like you were talking about how you try to fit in and stuff. Well, he was that one friend that helped me fit in.
Yeah,
That's
so sweet.
Yeah, he introduced me to some different kind of music that I wasn't used to and stuff like that, and then got me into the cool music, right? Showed me all the cool bands back then, of course. And the funny thing about it is that him and I didn't start out as friends. We liked the same girl.
Oh, that's some
There's
drama.
drama. What's with that?
And
What
then
made you closer, though?
She didn't want either of us.
Y'all had something to mingle with, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, and so he, like I said, he became my best friend. Yeah,
Right.
and he was an awesome guy. His name was Abraham, and I miss him. So when you do get that one friend or couple of friends, because I still talk to people now that I knew in school. They're not as close, of course, but I still know them. But when you find that one, you hold on to them because they are definitely good people. Good people. So we're talking betrayal here now, right? That's what you're feeling, right?
Oh,
Would you call it betrayal?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could tell, man, that struck a nerve with you.
So much. Can you look at us right now?
I know. She's like,
Before we got on this show, let me tell you, I told her, I bet one of us is going to cry.
It's just a sensitive topic, when you think that you're going to know somebody forever. And then
of course. No, of course. And it's fine. It's fine. That's why we have tissue. We're good. But you know what? I'm glad. No, here's the honest to God truth. I'm glad, Amaya, that you're responding this way because adults sometimes just being real. We don't understand it. We look at you guys and what y'all go through, and we don't know exactly. We have to rely on what we went through at your age, and of course, having grown up, looking back at it now, that wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
As an adult, right? Like I had drama when I was a teenager, right? Sure. I had a friend of mine, not my friend Abraham, but I had a different friend of mine who took my girl away. Back then, I was devastated, right? The way you're feeling now. That was betrayal, straight up betrayal. But you ask me about it now at 45, I'm going to be like, that was so stupid. I'm at a different level than you are. What you're feeling is real, right? And the thing is us as adults need to understand that and remember that when we were that age, that was real to us, right? So I'm glad you're reacting that way because right now, you don't know. There's probably some parents that are listening with their kids right now, and they're having to stop and think, wow, well, maybe what my daughter's going through, she's feeling this way
real.
too. And exactly, because it may not be a big deal to us, but it's a big deal to you.
It's not girl drama, I promise.
Yeah.
It's real.
No, I hear you. And that's the whole reason why I wanted to talk like this. Because the two worlds need to come together.
Right.
If there's some kind of understanding where we can meet in the middle, then I think it's better all the way around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like at some point, maybe when we get more into these weeks, we can kind of start talking about things where we'll get you guys to understand an adult's perspective. Well, you know why maybe I don't think that's that important is because I'm worrying about how am I going to keep that roof over our head? Or how am I going to make that car payment so that I can make it to work the next month? Maybe that's the reason why I don't take that seriously. You see, because you don't think about that.
Right.
Your parents do, or the adults do. You see what I mean? So there needs to be an understanding. So don't hold back. You feeling something, you let that feeling go. So
think we're gonna need more tissues then.
No, I love it. That's betrayal is a real feeling. Doesn't matter how old you are. It sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks. So, and kudos to you for not giving names out. That's good. We don't want to do that.
I'm into that.
I got screenshots too.
I love it. I know some people. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome.
Oh wow.
All right, so you were talking about fitting in. Okay, so fitting in. So, do you find yourselves dealing with pressures to fit in?
Yes.
Oh, that was fast. Don't hold back, Tiffany.
Tell us.
You want to give us an example? What are some pressures?
I'm on a team, and everyone on my team is relatively well off and kind of more wealthy than I am. And like obviously I don't look like I'm not like struggling, but like
You're middle class.
yeah, like middle class. And all of these people have like a stupid amount of money, and like a lot of them are like, I don't know, not spoiled, but like if they want something they kind of
It's well
get it.
known that they have money.
And they don't
Right.
have to work for it as much as you do.
Yeah,
Right.
like for their 16th birthdays, it's like not
car.
even a question that they get a car. But for mine, it's like,
Let's see.
I gotta work
yeah,
for
it's
it.
like,
Well,
it's
first and foremost, let me correct one thing. They don't have squat. It's their parents that have money.
yeah, no, definitely.
So whenever they come and tell you I have this, no, you don't, honey. It's your parents.
yes,
Let's just get
exactly.
that out
Let
there
me
right
see your
now.
wallet.
Let's just,
Like, let
let's
me
just
see
get
that.
that out there right now. Okay, it's not them. It's their parents. All right.
Yeah.
But I completely understand that. I get that. And then like you see them the way they dress, the way they look, and you want to look that way, and that is crazy. I'm sorry. It's funny
you're
how
cool.
It seems like
it's
that's
funny
still the
how
same.
it's the same problems, even though it's a different generation. It's
Yeah,
the same
but
problems.
now adding on to it, I think it's social media too. That
Oh
when
my
you
gosh,
see something,
definitely.
Good
you
points.
want to
Great
be
point.
that.
That's a good point.
So
I gotta tell you, I really feel for you guys because growing up, we didn't have that whole social media thing.
Thank God.
Things would have been, yeah. On one hand, thank God we didn't because there's a lot of stuff that you can't prove.
Well,
bring out those brick phones. Let me see.
You know, if somebody comes back and says, "You remember that time that you did this?" Nope, and you can't prove it. But at the same time, you guys are having to deal with this social media generation, and like you said, you see these things and you know, oh wow, it looks like so and so lives this great life, and you know, wow, they're freaking eating steak at home, and I'm here eating fideo and beans, you know, or whatever the case may be, which I love, by the way, fideo and beans.
Good.
I feel like eating that now.
You know, but I get it. I mean, and to me, there's always pressure as a young person. I think there's always going to be pressure, but it seems to me that y'all's generation now has to deal with even more pressure than what we went through.
Yeah.
You know, there were things that we had to do to fit in that maybe you don't have to do now, but there are other things that you do that we didn't, or that you think about doing, maybe, you know. So I get that. Hey, let's just I'm just gonna throw it out there. Is there any pressure for like drugs or alcohol or things like that?
for sure. I personally wouldn't do that, but
Right.
people are going around selling it and they're like, oh my god, it's so fun, or it's a good distraction to get your mind off of everything that's going on in the world, but it's not.
That's
really.
not a way to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious. I may not even know. I don't know, but what drugs are popular now?
Vaping. Oh my
Acid.
god.
Vaping.
Weed.
Acid.
Okay,
weed,
weed's always been
shrooms.
popular.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
So wait a minute, hold on. You said vaping, right?
I
thought that
honestly
was-
don't even have a clue what it is. I just know that it's something that everybody does, and
Okay.
everybody thinks it's so cool that they do, and they post with all their little smoke coming out, and I just think it's.
Yeah,
not-
well, I just thought it was just like smoking. It's just not a cigarette.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
what
it
I-
is.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
what it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still
Although
some
I did
people
hear
do.
that some people do use marijuana and vaping.
Yeah,
can now.
that's
You
yeah.
You can do that now?
Yeah.
Really?
They actually sell it in different states.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's
so
an import
vaping.
drug.
Okay, so vaping is the big one. What about drinking?
For sure.
Yes, a lot, very much.
Okay. And you said acid. Acid is still a popular
there's
thing?
a lot of people like trying to sell acid and shrooms and very hard drugs that I don't think high schoolers should be using, especially as much as they use. Like, I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy. It's again the same stuff that we dealt with. We dealt with this kid. That's crazy. Okay, I have to know, since there's so many similarities. Do you guys have names for the different social groups?
I would kind of say we would probably say like the druggies.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely the
that's
druggies.
We have that.
But there's a difference between the druggies and the stoners.
Yes.
There's a big difference.
Oh yeah, the stoners are just all about the weed,
Yeah,
man.
those people are cool.
Yeah, those are the good ones. The
Yeah.
druggies are the ones that are like,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know those kind of groups, but I know like the smart ones,
Right.
the like
The popular.
The band kids.
the ones who are like athletic.
Okay, so back when we
But-
were kids, we had stoners, right? We had the stoners. We had the preppies, which you would call like the smart ones.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, we
that's
wouldn't
still-
call. We don't call.
No, I know you don't.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what we had. Okay, so
Yeah.
we had the preppies, right? We had the band nerds. Okay.
Yes.
We had they would call them the headbangers or the rockers, and then we had what was called the kickers, which were the country.
Oh, I thought those were sports or something.
Yeah, no,
Same.
kickers. That's what they used to call the ones that were all into country music, drove trucks, and went fishing and shot guns and stuff like that. Then, of course, you had because when I was in high school, it was back in the mid '90s. We had back then it was popular as the gangsters. So I don't know if they have that now, but that was our.
Never heard of it if they do.
We have dudes that
Group
like
names.
walk around with their pants at their ankles, but I don't
Might
think
as well not wear pants at all.
Okay, so are y'all a part of any of those groups or not really?
My group is the loner group.
My group's
We live
kind of
life
a
single.
mix.
A mix?
Yes.
Yeah, we have like some people that are
The
kind of
jockeys.
Yeah, we have like jocks, stoners. We have some not any like druggies
Right,
because we stay away from them.
Right.
But like
Wink,
I don't know,
wink.
it's like a it's like a fair mix.
Okay, cool. So y'all got diversity already. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really good. That's really cool.
A little bit of everything.
In
Yes,
some
ma'am.
groups, there's diversity.
Right.
Yeah.
Not all.
Yeah,
but-
not all.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's just like how the world is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So what about bullying? Do y'all deal with bullying? Or are you the bully?
Definitely the bully. No.
I feel like I know it happens. I've just never like
Seen it.
I mean, actually once I didn't get bullied, but like this dude dumped milk down my back cuz he thought it was funny. But like I've never seen like someone be like, "Yo, give me your lunch money." Like that just doesn't really happen. It's more like on social media.
Yeah.
People
So
kinda, like-
cyberbullying.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So that's one thing that's changed. Is there's not really like bullying, but there's a lot of cyberbullying.
I just
Yeah.
think that nobody really does it face to face because they'll know they'll get caught.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's more like behind your back, kind of.
They're braver behind a keyboard, basically.
For sure.
Yeah.
People will post about it, but they're too scared to say it out loud.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Have you guys dealt with any cyberbullying?
Probably.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
No, you never dealt with it. That's good. That's
Not
good.
that I know of.
Okay.
Or
And if
remember.
she
That's fair,
does, she's
that's
like,
fair.
okay, thanks.
Maybe you just don't take it seriously. You're just like, eh.
Yeah,
She's too badass.
I really don't. I don't care what people think of me.
Okay.
I would,
That's good.
if they're gonna talk trash about me behind a screen, then that's what they think. I can't change what they think.
That's a very mature way of thinking
Wow.
about that. That's a very mature way of thinking about that.
Thank you.
Sorry, but who are you?
There's some
Your sister.
there's some adults out there that should be that way.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
That's a very mature.
Yeah,
way of
because
thinking.
adults will even do it to kids because they think
Oh
they're
my
all that and
goodness,
they
wow.
think they're much
Wow.
better.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, they think
I've
they,
never
like, deserve the
experienced it, I don't
respect.
think.
But you've heard it.
I've
before.
seen it. I've heard about it. I've heard people go through it, and I think
Wow.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That just because you're older and maybe you've been through so much more, you think you have the power over a kid.
Yeah, like that's not really how
That's
it works.
wow. That's quite the.
That's an interesting topic.
That's an interesting
You should
perspective.
elaborate on that.
That's an interesting perspective. I can definitely see how an adult might think that way, being an adult, because I got to be honest, there have been some situations where I have felt that way. But you make a very good point. Just because I've gone through a bunch of stuff more than you've gone through doesn't mean I have any kind of power over you. But now, on that same token, let me ask you this question. Do you feel that you owe me respect?
I do owe you respect. You're an adult. I will treat you with the respect that I would give any other adult. But if you're going to talk down on me or be rude to me, then
Yeah. You get the respect that you're given.
Exactly.
That's very good. That is very good. You have been brought up right. That's
awesome. I think if my parents are going to raise me, they'll be the ones to discipline me, not some other parent.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Adult.
Yeah, not some other
it was
parent or
different
adult.
when we were kids, though.
Mm-hmm. Not for me.
Well, for me.
Because you were daddy's little boy.
Oh!
I don't know how she would know that, Will, but anyway.
Looks like it. That's why.
Wow, we're getting quite in there.
Me growing up as a kid, I'm a little bit older than Will.
A lot.
My family actually had this belief, and it was actually a common belief back then, that it took a village to raise a child. Okay, so for example, if we were at the grocery store, right, and if I started acting up, of course at the time I'm probably like 5 or 4 or something like that. If I started acting up at the grocery store, it was not uncommon for another adult to be like, you better settle down right now, and then maybe even kind of take me back to my mom or whatever and pat on the butt, and mom would be like, oh, thank you so much. How many times I got to tell you, you need to listen? And then that was not uncommon. And of course, that would not fly today.
Nope.
Wow. But that was not uncommon. So that to me, and I'm just saying for myself because of how I was raised, that is something that is different, But I completely agree that you give the respect that you get.
Right.
I don't think that as kids, just because you're younger than me, if I come out to you really disrespectful, you shouldn't be giving me respect.
Yes.
And there's a lot of adults out there that need to hear this message too. Just because you see some kid and you think that they're acting a certain way and they shouldn't act that way, you don't come to a kid and just be like, you need to start. Yeah. I think you have to approach. There would be a lot less crap that we're going through right now if people learn how to talk to each other.
And you don't know what that kid is. You don't know what that kid's going through. You don't know what their parents are going through. You don't even know if they have a parent. And that's
exactly. And see that right there, what you just said is golden, because I think that is something that a lot of adults don't realize.
Yeah.
You just judge what's on the surface right away, not even realizing that person could be really crying out for help. You know what I mean? And we're supposed to be the adults. We're supposed to be the examples. We're supposed to be the ones to help your generation come up. Yeah. We don't want to see you guys go through the crap that we went through, so you would think we know better, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, especially if you look at TV nowadays and what's going on in the world, there's a lot of adults that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And that for me is annoying being an adult seeing that happen. So, all right, so we've talked a little bit about bullying and stuff like that. So what do you think? Okay, you said fitting in. All right. What is another big obstacle, roadblock, whatever you want to call it, that you have to deal with on a daily basis? Now, keep in mind, we're talking about back when things were normal and you were going to school every day, that kind of thing. What do you think is another big obstacle? Something that would surprise your parents that they don't even know is an obstacle, but it is.
Ooh.
Stumped you, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Honestly, I don't know. My parents are different, but I think a lot of parents have high expectations for their children.
Okay.
And, children do suffer a lot during school. Like, school's hard. Like, they've been through it, but there's a lot more now that people, or that kids in general, have to learn and have to do to get, I guess, like, the perfect student, to be the perfect student. And I feel like a lot of parents have the expectation for their kids to be the perfect kid and the perfect student for school.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's hard to do, especially with dealing with fitting in, dealing with bullying.
Right.
And
some of the other problems.
Yeah, for sure.
You said something that just really rung a bell with me. Why do you say the perfect student or the perfect kid? Do you feel that that's what you have to aspire to?
I'm just a perfectionist, so everything I do I will take however long it has to do for it to be perfect in my standards.
Is that just some way that you've always been, or is it something that your parents pressure you to do?
I don't think it's something my parents have ever pressured me to do, but I think it's something that school has pressured me to do. Yeah.
Okay.
And I also think that people could get into their mind saying, my parent wants me to be perfect, even though
even though they don't know what their parent wants from them or expects from them.
They just want you to have a good education to at least try, instead of pushing yourself off.
Some parents just want you to get through. They don't expect you to be anything but yourself.
Right. Yes. Right. Wow, that's very... So, on that note, do you guys know what it is? Like, what is your goals? Like, what are you trying to work for? What is it you want to be when school's all done? And have y'all even thought about that?
I just want to get through school.
I want my parents to be proud. That's like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you feel like your parents are proud of you now?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? And it's really important for you. It's important for you for them to be proud of you?
Yeah, it's definitely a very big factor in most things I do.
Mm-hmm. That's your main goal.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, do you feel like you've messed up a lot?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Very much. Yeah.
So that's why you're really kind of shooting for them to be proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 45 years old and I still want for my mom to be proud of me. Yeah, seriously.
I bet she is.
Seriously. I would like to think so, but I'll be honest with you. Again, speaking as an adult, this might surprise you, but I have times when I don't feel like she is. And then for me, I'm getting deep. What the heck? And then for me, it's not just my mom. It's also my wife. Right. You know, a lot of what you guys go through now, right? It does really mold you into who you are as an adult. You would think as an adult, a lot of the stuff that you're dealing with now just kind of automatically goes away. Oh, I'm not going to deal with peer pressure problems anymore. Or I'm not going to deal with the self-esteem issues anymore. No, you still do, you know? And it's really, really kind of crazy that you guys see me, gray beard, you know, gray. You may see me as an old guy, and I know you guys respect me. I see that. But what I'm saying is you see me as an old guy. But from my perspective, looking out, I still see that 15-year-old kid when I look in the mirror. And it's crazy, right? So that's why I'm glad, like, you know, we're having this conversation. What about you? What is it? What's your goal? Is it just getting through school too, or?
No. Well, yes, and just trying to stay who I am. Personally, I feel like everybody changes and wants to be better than everybody else, or they just change. And sometimes it's for the better or for the worse. Right. And I personally just want, my end goal is to stay true to myself and try to be not better than who I am, but
the best version of yourself.
Yes, the best version of myself.
We'll say this. You give me that vibe of like, you got a really good idea who you are, and you just don't want that.
For sure.
Am I right?
I would say that for her too.
I guess I wouldn't know.
Right.
I would.
Well,
say
here's
that.
the thing. I know you're still figuring it out. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
For sure.
Y'all still don't have an idea of what y'all are capable
the world
of.
is like.
No, I'm not even talking about the world. I'm not even talking about the world. I'm talking about just yourselves. You don't know what you're capable of yet. You really don't. You know, you're gonna keep learning that. But the one thing I get from you, Vanessa, is that you have this core thing about you that you've got a pretty good idea of who you are and what you're going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nothing against you two, but I can tell you guys are still kind of figuring it out. Yeah. You're a little ahead of the game. That's what I'm feeling from you. And I'm a pretty good reader of people. So, so this is awesome. You guys having fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, we're going to take a little break. All right, because we have to hear from our sponsors. We got to pay the bills around here. Like you see, we need a new mic stand, so we got to run some commercials. All right, so we're gonna be right back, and we're gonna continue this conversation and get a little bit more deep. And so for now, just listen to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Do you suffer from problems with your skin? Maybe you have acne, rosacea, or you just want to have a younger and healthier look? Then Chic Boutique is the place for you. Chic Boutique prides themselves on being a corrective skincare clinic. They offer cutting-edge technologies, as well as their own professional product line. Your skincare goals will be reached quickly and effectively without being invasive or using toxic chemicals to achieve the results you desire. They offer customized facials, advanced skincare treatments, and so much more. They also specialize in permanent makeup and body treatments. Give them a call at 830-556-0815. That's 830-556-0815. Stop by and talk to them in person at 2115 Stevens Place, Suite 1010, New Braunfels, Texas 78130. You can also find them online at www.chicboutique.org. That's www.chicbeautique.org. And guys, don't feel left out. There is a treatment for you too. Don't knock it till you try it. Start your skin journey today by calling Chic Boutique.
Whoa. Oh, no way. Hey, Will.
Yo, what's
Get
up?
over here. Look at this.
What am I looking at?
I'm in Facebook right now. Look at these numbers.
Dude, what did you do?
Dude, look at these numbers now in Instagram.
What? How?
Yeah. They've gone up in just a couple of weeks.
How?
By listening to Enid Jones. That's right. So if you are wanting to start a business in 2020 and you wanted to grow on social media, then you know where you need to start? You need to contact Enid Jones, the Social Mermaid. She's a photographer and social media strategist. She will help give you a strategy to move forward in 2020 with a practical, realistic approach or growth. For testimonials, reviews, and more, you need to go find her on Facebook or Instagram. We listened to her, and in just a couple of weeks, man, our numbers are up. So if you go to Instagram, you can find her by pix.by.enid. That's pix.by.enid. And if you go on Facebook, just search Enid Jones Photography. She's not that hard to find. Go and search her today.
Are you ready for a workout that will change your life? Get up off the couch, get into your vehicle, and get on over to Metro Flex Gym. This is the only gym in San Marcos, Texas area that will help you lose that weight, get in shape, and even gain some mass. Metro Flex Gym with professionals on staff to help you reach those goals. That's right, Metro Flex Gym. Located at 2101 Clovis Barker Road, San Marcos, Texas, 512-878-8575. Metroflex Gym. Search us online, metroflexsanmarcos.com. Don't whip out. Come to the house of hardcore. Metroflex Gym.
And we're back. And before we get back to our discussion, you know it. You guys that listen all the time know what's up. I got to give a big shout out to Silver Spoon Dinner Theater. That's right. Silver and Madison Monaco are the owners. Silver Spoon Dinner Theater is located at the Texas Ski Ranch. It's the upstairs restaurant at the Texas Ski Ranch. The address is 6700 North I-35 in Braunfels, Texas. This is the place to go if you want an awesome date night with your significant other. You'll get a wonderful 4-course meal on the weekends along with a show. And it's at a great price. And we're talking food like filet mignon. We're talking sugared seared salmon. We're talking desserts like New York style cheesecake. Man, you name it, they got it. There's not a bad thing on the menu. I even tried their frog's legs and it was amazing. They had buffalo frog's legs. I never thought I would eat a frog in my life. And these things were amazing. I tried not to think about Kermit the Frog when I ate them, but anyway. Great stuff, great food. If you want more information, give them a call at 210-865-3711, 210-865-3711. You can also go and email them at silver, that's SYLVER, at silverspoon.com, and Silverspoon is spelled SYLVER, spoon.com. And also go to the website, silverspoon.com. Again, Silver Spoon Dinner Theater. You guys got to go check it out if you haven't yet. And when you go, tell them that your boys here at What's on My Mind sent you. That's Big Will and Rob T. Who knows? Maybe Silver will even give you a little hors d'oeuvre or something on the house. You know, she's nice like that sometimes. But anyway, Silver Spoon Dinner Theater. Y'all got to check it out. All right, and we are back, man. We've been talking about some very, very interesting stuff, and I am having a blast talking with Amaya, Vanessa, and Tiffany. Thank you guys again. Y'all having fun?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Awesome. Listen, I want to take this back a little bit. We started talking about this. I asked you guys what some of the obstacles were about, going to school and being teenagers, right? And the first thing you said was fitting in. and then we got to talking about friends, and then Maya over here talked about
spiced it up a little.
Yeah, you did.
Stirring the pot.
You did talk about, and you've just recently dealt with some betrayal.
For sure. Yeah.
I want to touch on that because, like I told you before, you know, we're at different levels here. You know, I'm like, we're adults and you're the teenager, but betrayal is betrayal, right? I know what it feels like to be betrayed. As an adult, I've been betrayed before. Oh my God, have I been betrayed? Okay, by people that I've respected, that I looked up to, and then I got stabbed in the back, and it sucks, right? You feel that too right now, though, don't you?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I don't really know where it started. I just know I was really close with this one friend, a girl. She and we've known each other. I do dance. Dance brought us pretty close.
Is this with your school?
Yes,
and
I
this
do
is,
dance
and
school.
just so the listeners understand the reason we were talking earlier about the whole school thing. Your school is just a little different from the school that these two go to.
Yes,
it's a different type of school. It's like a prep school kind of thing,
yes,
right?
For sure.
Okay, so continue.
Right, so I was really close to this one friend, and we did a thing over the summer that kind of brought my elementary school friend that I've known since kindergarten. Well, our kindergarten friend group is this Vanessa, obviously, my sister, and then another girl who I've known since kindergarten, and then this one boy. Okay. We've always been close. I would say that him and I have always been the closest out of our friend group. I guess it was easier to connect with each other better than it was with everybody else, I guess.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah. And
so since you were 5, right?
Yeah, 5 or 6 even. 5. Yeah, something like that.
5. Wow.
Yeah.
So what's that? 15 years?
Yeah.
No, something like that. My math's off.
Or 10 years.
It's 11.
12, something
11.
like that. I don't even know.
Now we know who's the math genius.
Yeah, always have been. But
I'm so smart.
It would have been 12,
I'm
but
just kidding.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was close with this one girl. They ended up getting closer, which I didn't care about. I like when, friends mingle with each other. It makes things easier, especially when you hang out.
Of course.
So I don't really know when it shifted. I just know that me and him we were close for a really long time. And then I guess I got into a relationship. And I think that's when it changed, just because, boy, girl, always friendship. I guess sometimes there's always more feelings than it is just a friendship. And
it's usually because of the boy.
Yeah, for sure. Hello. I distanced myself a little because I didn't really want to touch that subject, because that's a friend that I've known for so long, and I was scared to ruin a friend group.
Okay.
So I guess he kind of sensed that, and he took his opportunity to go with someone else, the girl that I'm really close with on my dance team.
Right.
They both took that opportunity to go, I don't know, mingle. The difference is that she didn't want to be in a relationship with him. I mean, I didn't want to be in a relationship with him either, because I was getting into a relationship myself.
Okay.
She didn't want to be in a relationship with him. She thought that things were going to be weird if she did. She went a different direction while going the same direction with him. He got the idea that they were going to be in a relationship, and maybe they were for a couple days. I don't really know that part. She kept that very secretive from me.
Okay.
And I think that's when our friendship, hers and I, got very quiet. I didn't really trust her for a lot of things, but she would come to me every now and then when she needed something about him or when she wanted something for him.
Okay.
And I was the person who convinced her parents that he was a good kid, that he was a good boy, and if y'all ever wanted to date, then I was 100% sure with it. I convinced her parents that he was a great kid and full permission if they ever wanted to date, and that was best.
Okay.
But she took it a different direction, and she dated a guy, but she was also dating this one friend, my kindergarten friend that we were really close to.
So she was dating 2 guys.
Yeah, I would like to say that that's what it was. That's what it seemed like. She wanted to do some things that would get him jealous. So she brought other friends from my school into it to do some mischievous things. But I wanted to keep out of it because I knew that it would end up badly.
Okay.
I lost a connection with my guy best friend. We didn't really talk very much. I want to say after this big event that we were having, we lost connection. It was already awkward when we were doing this event.
Right.
And he went the direction with her, and then he completely forgot about me. And I think maybe it's just jealousy. That's parent talk, I guess, with what I've talked to with my parents. But he got upset about the fact that I didn't want to be in a relationship with him. He went down the relationship with the girl who didn't want to be in a relationship with him, who was with another guy but was with him.
Right.
And then I guess I got closer. He not made fun of, but he kind of judged the guy that I'm dating in a relationship with.
Right.
And that's where it kind of drew the line for me. That's where I was like, I would go in and say, hey, a little bit. We would text a couple of times. But he stopped texting me after he used to give me a ride home from school. So
that stopped?
It definitely did. Like, really abruptly. He just said that. He said a couple things and said it wasn't going to happen anymore.
Okay.
Then I texted him one day, and then he kind of just left. Like, he didn't really do anything. He just left it.
Okay.
And then spring break came around before Corona and all that.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a better idea of what was going on in our friendship. I sent a really long, hurtful email. Well, not hurtful, but like a long email expressing how I felt.
From the heart.
Yeah, from the heart, because he had blocked me on everything.
Oh, wow.
He blocked me on everything and my family. So
wow.
Yeah, he blocked me on everything. I had tried calling him, but the phone didn't go through. So the only way that I could email him was from school emails, because everybody's only school emails like can send to school emails.
Right.
So I emailed him
Okay.
a really hurtful for me to send, but an emotional email telling him that I wanted to understand what was going on. You've been my friend for all my life. You're somebody that I can trust. You're the number one person that I've connected with the most. And then he sent me a hurtful email saying that he didn't want to be friends with someone. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh my God.
It's okay.
He had said that he didn't want to be friends with someone he felt like was hurting other people. And I'm the kind of person who will literally put everybody before I put myself.
Right.
I've always been that way.
Right.
And so he said some really hurtful things in an email. And he pretty much, it's almost as if he said everything that the girl that he was getting into a relationship was. He pretty much said that I was that person. And I got really hurt at that, because how do you handle, well, from an email too, like you have no other source of contact besides a school email.
Right.
And saying that he didn't want to be your friend anymore because he was, this is the way I see it. He was pretty much describing the girl he wanted to get into a relationship with, because I am the complete opposite of what he said.
Right.
And I mean, I guess that's okay, because if that's how you felt all along and if that's how you were really going to be, then like I guess a friendship like that wasn't going to work out. But it just sucks that I had to figure it out on my own. I didn't get an explanation. I didn't, it would have been better if it was a face-to-face. I would have handled it, I think, better too. Not that I did anything crazy. It was emotional for me to get out of and to understand. Like, I still don't even understand it now. There's so many explanations, and I think I'm an overthinker. So there's so many things that I still think from this day on as to what did I do and how could I have fixed it? How could I have
prevented it?
Yeah, how could I have done something different? Because,
so check this out.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some insight now from a 45-year-old man who used to be a 16-year-old boy. And maybe this will help you a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
He's y'all's age, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, he's a little bit older than like
probably
barely
10
a couple days older.
Yeah,
than us.
so he's right there. He's the same age. All right, so here's the deal. Bottom line, just from what you're saying, this is what happened. He liked you.
Yeah, for sure. That's what
He liked you.
Yep.
And not only did he like you,
Yep.
it wasn't like that. Oh, I like her. No, it wasn't like that. It was this has been my girl since we were in kindergarten. He's gotten to know you. He feels very well connected with you. And here's the thing. At that age, us guys, at that age, when we get that emotionally connected with someone, we confuse it with being in love. Okay, we really do. So at that point, he's thinking, I'm in love with her. And now keep in mind, he's 16 years old. So he's also got those guy hormones going and everything. So now in his mind, he's thinking, I'm in love with her. So now I want to kiss her. Now I want to hold her. Now I want to. So these are the thoughts that are now taking control of his mind. Okay. Yeah. Also speaking as a guy that used to be that age, we are very, what's the word? We're very afraid of being vulnerable.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So bottom line is this. This is his, I'm telling you, this was his point of view,
Right.
not yours.
Yeah,
not that you did this.
Of course.
But in his point of view, he said, I want you to have my heart. Mm-hmm. And you basically, in his mind, went, no, you're stupid. No, I don't want your heart. So at that point, when you rejected him, he had to save face.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because now he feels about that big.
Yeah.
All right? He feels really stupid. He feels like, oh, crap, why did I do that? And now he's just trying to, it could be something as simple as like, I can't look like a wuss in front of my boys. Nah, I'm a dude, right? So,
And I would say that he is that kind of person
There you
who
go.
wants
Yep.
to fit in
Right,
with the
okay.
guys he's really
so
close
then
with now.
I'm sure he said, hey, guess who emailed me? This is what she said.
He is that kind of person.
Okay, and then he probably said, you know what? And they were probably like, oh, dude, you should tell her something. You should tell her something, man. She can't treat you. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to tell her something. And he sent you that email.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, years from now,
Yep.
He's gonna regret it.
he's going to come back and be like, man, I'm so sorry for being such a jerk.
Yep.
Well, this is how I see it. My parents have always taught me we will love each other forever. Like you can be mad for as long as you want to,
Right.
but that's never going to make a difference.
Right.
Sometimes people do bad things in your life. Sometimes they have to go, and sometimes it's best for them to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you will always care for them. You will never disrespect them. You will never treat them any different than
Right.
you would if they were with you or if they weren't.
And that's a very mature way of thinking it. Now, and so I say this to you because now maybe you can kind of have an idea of what's going on in his head. Now, having said that, this isn't a pass for him. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that oh, okay, then it's fine. No, I'm not saying that because the bottom line is he hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Words hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Especially when they're in an email, not face to face.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
And here's the thing. The email is probably the best way he could have done it because face to face he probably would have been even stupider, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. So the bottom line is this: he screwed up, but understand that it's as crazy as it sounds, it's the truth. He wasn't in his right mind. His hormones are doing most of the thinking for him right now, unfortunately.
Yep.
And the day will come that he's going to realize what he had in you as a friend, and he will regret it. And I promise you, it may take a few years, but he will come back and apologize. Now after that, it's going to be up to you what you decide to do with that. But if I may just say this, I know it hurts, right? I can tell just by looking at you that it hurts, and I completely understand that. The best advice I can give you, though, is forgive him. And when you forgive him, and I say this all the time in our podcast because adults need to do the same thing.
Yep.
When you forgive, it has nothing to do with the person. You're forgiving them to let them go. Release that power they have over you. Okay?
Yeah, well, if he ever needed something, I'd always be here for him. That
Yeah.
doesn't change.
That's a great way to be. That's a great way to be. But I'm just saying, just forgive him and just let it go. You got to understand, boys at 16 are stupid. Straight up, they are stupid. Okay, I'm talking from experience. Okay.
Yep.
Preaching
Yeah.
to the choir.
And I think Will would agree with me.
Wholeheartedly.
At that age, we are such idiots. And I'm not gonna lie, as adults, sometimes we're idiots too.
Yep.
But thankfully, as we get older, we do get to mature. You girls mature a lot faster than guys.
Yes, that is proven.
That's a sign. That's a sign. She looked right at me when she said that. So I'm really sorry that happened to you, but I really do appreciate you sharing that with us. And it also brings us to another good topic. You were talking about relationships, right? So, I keep going back to when I was a kid because I want people to hear the contrast between the two generations, the differences between the two generations. When I was y'all guys' age, right? Mm-hmm. Being in a relationship was like you had to. It was the it thing. you know, because you wanted to be known. Like, God forbid someone come up to you, hey, do you have a girlfriend? Oh, yeah. You know, you didn't want to say no because you automatically had this thought in your head that if you didn't have a girlfriend, you were pathetic.
And I still think that's something that goes around now, kind of. Oh, yeah.
And that doesn't surprise me. Because at that age, at the age that you guys are at, you're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like training wheels. You know, you get that bike and it starts leaning to the right and you got the wheels, and when you take those wheels off, then you're really trying to stay balanced. And I think that's what you're doing right now is you trying to balance everything in life. You know, that's why this time is very stressful for you guys. And sometimes as adults we forget that, you know, because you're balancing your own lives, right? With school and your relationships and your friendships and things like that. And at the same time, I think as adults we don't realize that. Because I know when I was a kid, what my parents went through, I felt it. You know, when they were having their issues, I'd hear my parents argue, or, hey, I noticed that the food is not as good as it's been because of money issues. I felt it, you know, and I'm sure that's the same thing with you guys. You know, you feel those things too. Sometimes we don't remember that. We don't think about those things, right? But going back to the whole relationships thing, you said it just now. It's still an important part of your generation, right? Here's what I want to know though, and I'm gonna go there. Back when I was a kid, sex was a big, like, you had to experience it. God forbid you were a virgin.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm serious. I was 16 years old and I felt like I can't tell people I'm a virgin. You know, oh, they're gonna make fun of me, right? And of course now being an adult, looking back on that, you know, I'm like, God, I was dumb. But is it the same now?
For some people.
For some people,
sometimes.
Some people don't really care. They're like, oh, okay, she's a virgin. Like, I don't care.
It's nothing new.
Yeah,
like,
it's iffy.
Right.
It depends who you meet.
Okay.
I feel like there's more pressure on the guys. Like, if a guy is a virgin, they're like, bro, what?
Right.
But if it's a girl, they're like, as you should be. Like, if you sleep with anyone, that's awful.
Yeah, and they're like, call you names and like
put titles.
So it really hasn't changed much from back then.
Nope.
Yeah,
Sure hasn't.
That's crazy. Well, then let me ask you this, because I will say this is just from an adult looking. Like I'm looking through the window of the store. This is how I feel in this. There is one difference that I will say that I've noticed from my generation to y'all's generation. Yeah. And please take no offense at all when I say this, because I'm talking as a whole. Okay, as a whole, not anybody specific, right? But I notice when it comes to girls, a lot of them nowadays seem to be dressed more provocatively than when I was a kid.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I said not anybody here personally.
But like, you're totally right.
So here's my question: being that y'all are girls, why?
I think it shows people that they're confident with their
depending
body.
on the person. Depending on the person.
Some people just want to, like, you know, show it off. But some people are just making a statement. Like,
some people don't care how their body looks. They don't care what is wrong and what is right to other people. But in their minds, they think, they think that they're beautiful.
They're perfect the way they are.
And they'll do whatever it is to show it.
Yeah.
No, for me, it's like when I was in middle school, a lot of people would not bully me, but kind of like make comments because I was built like a literal stick. And then I got older and I kind of noticed that I wasn't a stick anymore. So I was like, okay, so
so you're telling me you got made fun of the way that you looked in middle school.
Yeah.
Middle school.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like, you were built like a man. I was like, yes, I am.
But we're talking middle school.
Yeah,
middle
it was
school.
so dumb.
Like, how old were you?
I think
I just want to make sure I got my ages
it was
right
like
here.
7th grade. I think I was
12, 13?
Yeah, 12 or 13.
Yeah, that's middle school. Wow.
Yeah, it was something.
Oh my God.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. So again, going as a whole, seeing your friends, your age group, is everybody just having sex? I mean, what's going on?
I don't think it's like that.
No?
No.
I mean, it's not like rabbits.
Hey, you come here, let's do it. No, it's not like that.
I mean, a lot of people put not more, but like a lot of people want it to mean something special, but then there are still those people
who just
like,
do it.
Okay.
Don't care.
Okay.
It's emotionless.
Because when I was younger, it seemed like it was more of the people that just were doing it to do it.
Yeah,
So
there
is
are
it not
still
like
those
that
people.
anymore?
No, I would
There
say
are
there's still
still
people.
some like
Yeah,
Maybe
but
not
it's
as
not
many,
the vast
but
majority.
But it's not the vast
Yeah.
majority.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, now that's
That's
interesting.
crazy.
That's really interesting because it was
That's
not
a
like
dynamic
that.
shift. That's the
Very
shift.
much so. Very much of a dynamic shift here. That's
Yeah.
that's really, really interesting. So now taking it back to the whole provocative thing, I'm not denying anything you're saying at all. All right, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
All right, because I'll be honest, hearing what y'all were saying and everything, I heard you, but I'm not gonna lie. In my mind, I was saying BS, and this is why. In my mind, and I could be totally off kilter here, but in my mind, I think it's attention seeking. I think not you specifically, but I think they want the attention. They don't care if it's bad or if it's good, as long as they're getting the attention. That's what I think. And I think a lot of times they do it not necessarily because they, what's the word I'm looking for here? On purpose want it. They just feel like they can't feel good without the attention. Does that make sense?
I
Yeah,
know
that's-
exactly what you're saying. There's this one friend in our mutual group who I would say...
No names, no names.
Yeah, no, of course, no. Who
say
went
no
through a
names.
phase? Who went through a phase where she felt like she needed the attention for herself.
Okay.
And maybe that's because she was going through her own personal things. And yeah, I know she was going through some of her own things.
Okay.
But she definitely showed a lot more. But then, she got what she put herself out there for.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Let me ask you this, because another thing that I think that kind of ties with it, and you guys would know better than I would, is it possible that not everybody, of course, but some people, kids, y'all's age, and do they even say anything? Maybe they've been abused? Maybe they've been molested?
Yeah.
Do they say anything? Do they?
I think it's definitely possible, but nobody says anything.
Because
Everybody keeps
because
quiet.
they're too scared.
Yeah.
if you say something, a lot of the time it's kind of like brushed off. It's like, well, what were you wearing?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and the first,
Exactly.
like,
Or
that's
like,
the first
did
question.
you start it?
Were you
Yeah,
the
like-
one who put it on
like,
somebody
oh,
else?
Did you
Oh my
look at him
God.
first? Did you hint at him? It's not
Wow.
like, did you say yes? Did you say no? It's more of, did you even hint at the possibility of
Yeah.
saying yes?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
It's
That is
ridiculous.
eye-opening.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
it's-
very eye-opening.
yeah.
So wow. So basically what you're saying is if someone gives a cry for help, that
It's normally just boom.
just like maybe you started it.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, if there's a cry for help,
They
people
don't
put on
even
their
think.
earplugs.
Yeah, they don't
Right.
even think about asking that one person what truly did happen, or like
Yeah.
taking an initiative of what could have.
Yeah, or like they probably did, but then they won't believe them. They're like, "You're making it up. That's
Right.
not possible. I don't believe that person will do that."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read a lot of things where people had gone to court about it, and a lot of the times the person who was obviously in the wrong got off so
And
easy.
they act like
were
they
like,
didn't
"Oh,
do anything."
probation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it's
Wow.
can be
So have you
ridiculous.
guys experienced any of that? Like people that have gone through stuff like that?
yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe I don't.
Because everything you guys are describing, I have seen happen. I've seen happen with members of my family, and it
Yeah.
was the same thing. That family member spoke up to their parents, and same reaction. Oh,
Yeah.
this person would never do that.
Yeah.
This person is your uncle, or this person is your cousin. Their family, they would never do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not almost. They don't believe the person that's actually giving out the cry for help.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest, I'm a little shocked here because I thought that would have changed after all these years. But now you're sitting here telling me that it's still the same.
Well, then it's
I
also
wish.
they know the one person who has gone through molested or whatever. They know that that one person has either acted out, they've done something to prove that nobody will believe them.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
good point. Yeah. And here's the catch-22 of the whole thing, Will, is that person that's been abused in that way, yeah, they act out because they got abused.
Right.
Yeah, and they don't know how to
They don't
express
really-
it.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't
And
know how to
people
Exactly.
just
deal with
think
it.
it's them being rude or
Right,
them
and
being
it's
mean.
Or
not.
trying to get
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not. It's because
There's something in their
something
own
in their head
yeah.
got screwed up because of the
Yeah.
abuse that they suffered.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, that is very, very eye-opening. Very eye-opening.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in shock too, aren't you? Yeah.
Crazy.
And
it's
and here's the thing that's crazy to me is that this is happening at this age.
Yeah,
You know.
it's like we aren't even 18.
No, but at the same time, I guess I can't be surprised. So check this out. I don't want to trying how to word this. Somebody in my family, let's just say that. I'm not going to say who it is because then family members will know. But somebody in my family who's very young, right? I found out that they were watching pornography, and I remember it shocked me because of how young they were. But then stopped in my tracks because I remembered myself and how old I was when I first saw something that was pornographic. I was actually 8 years old. Wow. The first time I saw something that was pornographic. So at that point, my shock went away and it was more like, well, crap, it still goes on. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I can tell just by what we're talking about now that it still goes on now. And that's just man, and that's a subject nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about sex. Nobody wants to talk about, I don't know about your parents because I've met your mom and I've talked to your mom and she seems to be very open with you guys.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure.
So
like if it sex, she'll be like, it's gonna happen, and if it does happen, I want you to be safe.
She'd rather us tell her about it and to do the best we can to prevent anything.
Yeah, because she can't stop it.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you're gonna. Let's be honest. The parents have only.
It's gonna happen either way.
Parents have so much control. You're gonna decide what you're gonna do. When I was a kid, when I was younger, I decided I wanted to have sex. I don't care how many times my parents told me, "You're gonna go to hell if you do it." I'm gonna do it anyway. You know what I mean? Care. Are your parents that way, Tiffany?
I don't really know. I don't really talk to them about that kind of thing. Like
there's my.
Yeah, they're not strict about a lot of things, but then they're strict about some things. Gotcha. I feel like they would rather know that I was being responsible than not know, and I'll have to be like, hey, guess what?
Right.
We have to go to the doctor. Like,
right.
Like,
So as far as the sex talk, is that more of the taboo talk with your parents? Like they won't touch that?
We've never talked about that.
Gotcha. But everything else is fair game?
Yeah, they talk to me about like drugs.
Right.
And I know that's like it.
Really? That's crazy. Well, I mean, I get it. I do get it because growing up, it was the same thing with me. But, that is, I wish my parents would have talked to me more about sex.
Yeah, me too.
In a more, now, don't get me wrong. They did talk to me about the sex, right? But it wasn't in a constructive way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
The way my sex talk went was, if you do before you get married, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
That was seriously my sex talk. It really was. I wasn't explaining about, hey, this is... Like, I knew what sex was for, but I learned that in school.
Yeah.
Honestly, I learned it before school. I learned it from friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really how I learned about sex. But everything else, it was either through school or it was through experience.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I really wish that my parents would have had, honestly, enough guts to talk to me about it. I don't know what the fear is about. I have nephews, and my sister has already told me, hey, can you talk to them? I have no problem talking with my nephews about it.
I think it's better to start off to tell them while they're young, just because I feel like the kids whose parents get after them a lot for it or don't talk to them about it, those are the kids who want to experience it more, know more about it.
Definitely, yeah.
So how old were y'all when y'all had to talk with your mom?
I don't really know. It's. I feel like it's always been an in and out kind of thing. Like if we somehow get along the lines of it, then we're talking about it. But I took a class in school all about sex ed and things like that. So I've been aware for a while, but like I've known a lot before because my mom has told me about it.
So do you remember how old you were when you first learned about sex?
I honestly
I wouldn't know.
Funny. And you said your parents haven't talked to you?
No.
Still to this day?
To this
You're 16 years old and they still have not talked to you about sex?
Yep.
So have you tried bringing it up to them?
No.
Well, how do you bring that up? Well,
I wanted to talk about
They
sex.
might assume things. They might assume you're trying to tell them something. And I feel like that's what parents, they get the
that's
wrong
a good
misconception.
point. That's a very good
Oh my
point.
gosh. gosh.
That's a very so maybe you're afraid that if you start talking, they're gonna think, oh my God, she's pregnant.
They're gonna like ground
or that
me.
you already
A
did
lot
it.
of parents already assume that automatically when you go to that. That's how I feel.
No, I definitely feel like my parents think that I'm a naughty child.
Not all parents, but some parents.
Yeah,
wow.
so definitely.
And this is exactly where I want to have this conversation. This is awesome. Wow. So so your parents still haven't talked to you about sex.
I don't know.
Do you know how old your parents are? I'm just curious.
They're like reaching their 50s.
Okay, so they're around my age.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Why.
Gotcha.
I've learned because
I'm still 5 years away. Don't look.
No. I'm not talking about you. So I have friends of mine who's already in their 50s.
Yeah.
And they won't talk to their kids about it at all because their childhood growing up, they wasn't taught it at their young age.
Yeah.
They kept it secret. It was secretive to them as well.
Yeah.
So me and myself, and like my siblings and so on and so forth, I didn't have to talk with my parents. I didn't have to talk. I had to talk with school.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Too.
So that's how I learned it. And then my friends and so on and so forth. And then my parents would just see me coming around with chicks and like, who's this one? Who's that one? Who's this one? What's going on? They just assumed that what's going on.
Yeah, that was the automatic assumption.
Yep. So my parents were also a lot older than me as well. But for me as a parent, I'm just as well as like my sister is with her kids. I try to be upfront with my kids and try to tell them. Now my daughter is 12 years old, so I'm kind of trying to slowly break into that because she's going through that. She just started that change in life, so it's a little different for a parent.
That's got to be tough, being that it's your daughter, though.
Yeah. What you also realize too is coming from me.
Yeah.
From a guy.
Yeah.
Think about it like that. Coming from a guy. So most young ladies want to have to talk with their mother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So coming from me. Think about that direction. You're talking to your dad about something that your mom usually talk about that with you about.
Yeah.
That's gotta be.
That's even worse for the dad.
Oh.
And
my
for the
gosh.
child.
Yeah.
But I think it gives them that bond, like they could come to you.
Yeah.
Right. You're right there. I mean, that's true. I mean, I hope that my daughter would one day say, "Hey, Dad, I'm doing this or that and the other," and as hard as it may sound for me to say this, I would get mad, but I'd rather her tell me.
Got your back, dog.
Then you find out the hard way.
Right, than finding out the hard way. Because you realize.
Walking in.
I got a gun. I just got my license. I'm telling you, we can throw down.
Seeing it in action.
You're doing it wrong.
Let me help you out here.
Good God.
Sorry.
There will be a disclaimer before this.
Yep.
Wow. Good Lord, I can't even imagine. I'm not even a parent. I don't even want to think about that. Oh my God. Please tell me that hasn't happened to y'all.
I wouldn't know.
She's like,
She's single.
Yes, I am single and I am still a virgin.
Well,
Period.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Didn't ask, but okay.
Very proud. Very proud.
That's awesome. No, that's great. That's great. Okay, cool. So so back to your parents are like more my age. I don't know. I don't even know how you would go up and tell them and you wanted to talk to them about that, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they don't talk to you because I mean, I'm sure you know now, but because
like,
of school and stuff.
I talked to her.
Is the older sister?
Yeah.
How much older is she?
She's just graduated.
Okay.
High school?
Okay.
Yeah, high school.
No, elementary.
So like she still lives with us and everything. Yes. She graduated elementary school.
She said elementary. Wow.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Cool. Man, we hit some hard topics today. That's good stuff. But I'm telling you guys, y'all really opened up my eyes, and I think you've opened up a lot of eyes out there right now that people that are listening. So that's really, really, really good stuff. I'm really happy. I do want to end it here. So we're coming to the close here, but I gotta ask this question. So I'm assuming you guys really haven't heard our show because, like I said, there's not a lot of young people that listen to our show.
Yeah.
But we are a Christian-based show. A lot of the stuff we talk about is about God and stuff like that. We don't push it on anybody, of course, but we do bring it back to God. I gotta ask, being that you're 16 years old, you're out there, you have your friends and stuff, is God even on your radar?
No. I used to be super religious, but I'm not at all anymore.
So why did you stop being religious?
I guess I was never really educated on any of it. I never really went to church. Or
Right.
I did, but I was too young to remember.
Okay.
So I don't really understand, I guess, any of it.
Right.
And at some point, I just kind of, not gave up, but I was like, I don't know.
If you
I
needed
It just
you'd
wasn't
learn it.
important to you.
Yeah.
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 So are your parents like Christians? Or not really?
My father was raised Catholic, but I don't know if he still like
Right.
does anything
Right.
religious.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like God or religion is not a real big part of your family.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about you guys?
I would say it's a part of our family, but
It's not thrown at us.
our
It's
parents
not forced for us to believe.
Yes.
We
Gotcha.
have our own ways of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Having said that, is God even in y'all's radar in y'all's life right now?
I would say yes. We pray before we eat. So
I would say like I don't want to say we grew up in the church, but like we did all the classes. We went every now and then. We did the Christmas Eve stuff. Like we were a part of a lot of it, but
Right.
I think as we get older, it just kind of becomes something that we don't keep in our schedule or like
Okay.
in the daily.
it's our choice if we want to keep pursuing it.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure. And our
cool.
parents make sure that's something that
That we could choose.
know. And
Okay.
if we want to continue to pursue it or continue to have it in our life, that's
Right.
something that we can do.
Okay, cool. Now having said that, let's take just you personally out of the picture as a whole, friends in school and everything. How important is God? Are there certain people that God's really important? Or
Yeah.
is or he's just not even in the picture from what you've seen? I'm just curious.
For some people, I think it's really important for them.
Yeah.
I know there's this one person who believes in it and always wears, crosses and like they're a very big believer in it.
Mhm.
So some people do believe in it and some people are like, whatever.
Okay. So going to that one person, this is just out of curiosity. What's the word I'm looking for? How serious is that person taken by others? Like, is he someone that's bullied? Is he someone like, oh, it's just a crazy Christian, or is he respected?
I don't really know. I'm not like best friends with him. Like,
No, I get you.
But I guess people don't really care.
Okay.
They're like, okay,
Yeah.
you believe in that,
And
so
a lot
it's
of people
fine.
are used to it almost. Like a lot of people kind of grow up doing the church things, but then they slowly kind of fade out of it unless their
Yeah.
parents are like fully into that.
Very
Yeah,
strict.
fully
Right,
committed to it.
Right. So you, in your opinion, you think if they're serious about it, it's because the parents are really like serious about it.
Sometimes, yeah. From what I know, I would say
Yeah.
it's mostly their parents, and
Yeah.
they kind of put it on them.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that statement because I know for me growing up, at least up into my freshman year in high school, it was mainly because of my parents. When I got into my junior year of high school, it was more personal.
Yeah.
And I was known as the Christian, and actually I was known as the Christian rapper. That's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. I'll tell you some other time. But that's what I was known for in school. So I was just curious because in my generation, God wasn't really that important to the majority, but there was a small minority of people that were pretty serious about God. They kind of started the whole, prayer on the flagpole, and so there was a small minority that was into that. And back in, God, I sound so old when I say this, but back in my day, there was a coolness about it. Like there were certain, like there were musicians that were really like talk to people about Jesus, and so there was almost like a movement. Would you agree, Will? There was like this Jesus movement when we were kids. I was just curious if there was anything like that happening now, because I really don't see it. But again,
I don't think it's really much of a topic that people bring up either nowadays. I think it's more personal. And if they do bring it up, then everybody's kind of like chill with it. Nobody makes fun of anybody. Nobody does any of that.
Yeah,
so.
that's very telling.
Yeah.
That's very telling. I mean, I'm just saying because in my opinion, that's what we need more of is Jesus. But that's just, again, my opinion. You can agree with it or not, but it's my show. And we need more Jesus. I'm just saying. You've been seeing the world lately. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, it has been awesome, man. This has been a great conversation. Y'all ready to come back and do this a few more weeks?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Cool. So what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of take what we've been talking about today and really kind of think about it, and we'll be communicating with y'all during the week, and next week we'll bring on another topic maybe and kind of maybe generalize it more to one thing. And I don't know if Tiffany will be back or if somebody else will be here, but whatever, we're open to it. And to our listeners right now, if you're listening, so maybe there's some of you that are parents right now and maybe you have some questions. Well, I'm going to put Vanessa and Amaya on the spot. I'm going to let you guys ask them some questions. So when we come back for the next show, maybe we'll have some questions for you guys that you can answer. And I want you guys to be super honest with whoever asks what.
We can totally do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So listen to me, parents, and even some of you, if there's some kids out there listening too, if you have some questions that you want us to ask, and they got to be serious questions, all right?
Yeah.
We ain't trying to hook anybody up here. All right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, we are not saying names of anybody either, so don't ask that either. You know how people are. You know what I mean? No, but if you got some serious questions, just either email us at wommpodcast@gmail.com or go to our Facebook page or go to our Instagram page, shoot us a message or something like that, and we will have those questions ready so that we can ask you two, because you two guys are like the leads on this, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So. And we're ready to answer questions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This has been awesome. This has been fun. Do you guys have anything you want to close out with, or questions you want to ask, or anything at all?
Have fun.
Have fun? Is that your word of advice to the people out there? To have fun?
Yes.
But not too much fun. Come on, we're still in quarantine.
Yeah.
Some of us want to go back to school.
You want to know something, though?
You do not.
You do.
You want to know something, though? That statement that you just said, it's a simple statement, but I think it rings true. We do need to have fun.
Yeah.
I think we get so caught up in the seriousness of everything that's going on, we forget to have fun.
Yeah.
And that's so true. So that's a good way to close it. Anybody else? Tiffany, got any last words?
Nope.
No? I really do appreciate your openness, and I thank you for being here. And
of course.
And your bravery for taking off your ninja mask. Awesome.
We all have to be safe. So.
Yeah, no, I totally respect that. How about you? You got anything you want to say, Amaya?
No, not really.
No?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, there you go.
Ask us
See you next
questions.
week.
Yeah. So, all you guys out there listening, like I said, if you have questions, hit us up. We'll make sure we get those questions asked on the next podcast. Tell people about this. This is going to be going on for the next few weeks. So tell people about this. Parents, get your kids, listen with them. We may be hitting some topics that are going to spark a conversation. That's really what we're hoping for, okay? Now, as I was stated earlier, you guys know that this is a Christian podcast, so this is my part here, my segment. Like I said, you may not agree with my beliefs. That's fine. But I just want you to know that whatever issues you're going through, anything that we talked about today, be it molestation, be it abuse, being, dealing with hurt from betrayal of a friend or anything like that, I'm telling you, find somebody to just kind of talk it out with. If you need prayer, you can always hit us up. We'll pray for you. Jesus is the answer. Jesus is the answer for this dying world. Jesus is the answer for everything that's going on right now.
Yep.
You heard it last week listening to Pastor Fuji talk, for mental illness. Man, Jesus is the answer. He died for your sins. He died for everything that you're going through right now. Parents, if you feel lost, if you feel like you can't communicate with your kid, whatever the case may be, Jesus is the answer. As crazy as it might sound, it's the truth. So we are here to help. Please reach out to us.
Yes, please.
We'll be more than happy, like I said, to pray for you, to talk with you, whatever the case may be. Ladies, thank you again so much. Y'all need to tell people about this show, okay?
For sure.
Yes.
What's on My Mind podcast. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Google now. What do you think about that? Google Podcast. That's right.
That's pretty cool.
We're growing. We're expanding.
Also,
Yeah, you are.
Real quickly.
Yes.
We're within the top 100 of Google now.
Dang.
And we're within the top.
Wow,
We're within the top 50 of Apple Podcasts.
Nice.
Get in there. Get in there. Yes.
Yeah.
So you're number one.
Yeah, we moving on up.
Y'all may take us to number
Y'all
one.
may take us to
We
number
better.
one. And if we don't, we blaming y'all. Anyway.
I'll be suing you.
Should only blame yourself. Y'all brought us on here.
There's a common denominator.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Anyway, this was a blast. Guys, thank you again so much for being here, and I can't wait for next week. We can continue the fun. All of our listeners, I want to thank you. Remember to hit up our sponsors this weekend. go to Silver Spoon, go work out at Metroflex, give Reagan a call, get your face all fixed, whatever it is she does. If you need help on social media, call Enid up, she'll help you out. And I want to go ahead and say this now, Will.
Do it.
We got 2 more sponsors that you're going to be hearing about here in the next few weeks, okay? We got, he's going to kill me because I can't remember the name.
The Collector?
He gave you the stickers. What do the stickers say?
I don't have the stickers.
Oh, great. I think it was...
The Collective.
Yeah, whatever. John's going to kill me. I'm so sorry, John. Anyway, I will say Blue Orchid is one of our sponsors.
They're the ones doing all the cool new media stuff you've been seeing. The new short videos and things, and you're going to see a really cool one coming out this week.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be on the new promo that we're going to be hitting out this week. I think it was Collector University.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, Collector University. Sorry, John. Anyway, Collector University and Blue Orchid. Those are 2 new sponsors for the What's on My Mind podcast, okay? Collector University, listen, if you collect Funko Pops, any of that nerdy type stuff, you need to look up. What? Nerdy's a good thing nowadays. I thought you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, I'm a freaking Star Wars nerd, man. I'm a Star Wars and Marvel nerd. Any of that nerdy Harry Potter stuff, anything like that you collect, Collector University, you need to look him up on eBay. I'm telling you, he's got all kinds of Funko Pops, all kinds of collectibles. Man, he hooked me up with a Boba Fett. Do you remember saw that?
A big old Boba Fett.
Yeah, a Boba Fett Funko Pop that I'm very proud to have. So you guys need to look him up. And if you have any type of animation, any type of digital content, anything like that, Blue Orchid, you need to look them up as well. You'll be hearing some commercials here in the next few weeks, okay? Guys, thank you again so much for tuning in. It's been a blast. I can't wait for next week. It's going to be another good one. I know it is.
Yes.
So, having said all that, I am Rob T.
I'm Big Will.
And you've been... Wait, hold on. Girls, you got to do it with me. Ready? You've been listening to...
What's on My Mind?